Hey guys, definitely a long time no see kind of deal because I haven't gone live on Facebook in forever. I should mention that I am like live streaming across platforms at the moment. So yeah, if you see me on YouTube or Twitch or even X or yeah, that's pretty much it. Now that I think about it, I was going to be on TikTok, but I decided against it this time around because yeah, I think I got a little bit distracted with the inundation of the comment section. So I hope everyone is currently having or had a very good weekend. The weather has been amazing here in Sydney. You could tell me that it's supposed to be autumn all you want, and I promise you, I wouldn't believe you. Except for the leaves changing, that's all we see. That's the only indication. Oh, and the sun goes down a little earlier. That's about it. So I drew this one originally back in 2018. So it is kind of old. Um, and it is a yes, I am. Yes, I am currently doing this one on Procreate. Um, this one it started out as a t-shirt design, but I find that it works a lot better as a greeting card. I mean, it can work as pretty much a whole bunch. Oh, thank you very much. You'll have to excuse me if I sound like Elvis when I answer stuff. So yeah, the little sea otter picture um, is by far my most popular. Like normally I draw caricatures, and it's rare for me to draw anything else. So sort of taking the time to make something a bit different. And I'm doing this one ahead of Mother's Day. So, look, I'm still. I've only just started the stream. I've only been live for about 5 minutes, so yeah, it takes a little while for things to pick up. But yeah, I like the idea of how they sort of just chill out in the kelp forests, and they like hold hands to stop themselves like floating away. I mean, I have, watched a lot of nature documentaries about how terrifying these animals really are, but, they just are fundamentally adorable when you first see them. Like any um, mustelid, they're related to, what are they related to? Like weasels and skunks and badgers and stuff, and they do share a common ancestor with like river otters. And if you've seen, like, there are some species of river otter that are terrifying. Like the one we're most used to is like that small little cute one that makes the squeaky toy noises when it wants something. They're quite often kept as pets. I don't know why, but you see a few videos here and there of people who've raised and kept otters in their house and stuff, and they're just cuteness to the max, like all the time, and they're like high energy. They're extremely needy, and they squeak a lot, and they just pour on the adorable to the point where it's like it's almost suffocating. But in the wild, these animals, they're fighting for survival, pretty much. Yeah. But I think Amazonian otters, if you look up those things are hectic as. And they don't look particularly like, they look like otters, but they kind of look like mutated otters, if that makes sense. Like, they kind of look like what would happen if like the otters got like sort of spliced with spider monkeys or something. Like the Amazonian river otter, which is huge. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I've been sort of working on this one more or less for the last. Uh, yeah, like I said, I originally drew this back in 2018, and yeah, there's a certain, I guess, labor of love element to it. I'll just work on the faces a little bit. So I got inspired by some other like former Disney animators that I really respect and look up to. And one in particular that I absolutely 100% love the work of is Aaron Blaise, or Aaron, yeah. That guy's stuff is next level fantastic. So you absolutely do yourself a favor if you haven't already. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So how I do this one is like I alternate between brushes. So this is an inking brush, but because it's because it has that sort of like scratchy, kind of soft, fuzzy effect. Um, it looks like I'm sketching, like I'm using pencil, which is definitely the effect I'm going for with this one. And you're able to get like the textures and stuff of the fur. Because these little guys are absolutely covered in fur. Like they have like multiple layers of thickness when it comes to the coats. So the outer coat sort of provides protection from the freezing Arctic waters and stuff because they're not very big, and like unlike seals and other marine mammals, they don't have that kind of dense layer of blubber in the same capacity. Ibis paint? No, I haven't. No, no, no. I primarily like my two weapons of choice, I guess you could say, is Procreate. I mostly use Procreate and Photoshop, but I don't use Photoshop as much as I used to. Like when I first started out, Photoshop was like my real introduction to digital art. Like before that, all I had ever done, I kid you not, was I used to use MS Paint for like everything. So I just jump on and I'd do the zoom in function, and I would make images a pixel at a time. Like I would just draw as close as I possibly could, and then I zoom out and I'd move to another section, and then I'd zoom back in again and I'd draw a pixel at a time. And that's how I taught myself how to draw in MS Paint. And this is back in like 1994, so MS Paint was basically the only digital art program at the time that I knew of slash could afford because I was a kid. So, my options weren't that much. Actually, I'm thinking of bringing back and working again using like MS Paint. Like I missed that program. I haven't used that since the 90s. Like when I discovered Photoshop, I never really looked back. You know what I mean? Like you kind of go, oh, cool. Here's the alternative that I've been hanging out for this entire time. I guess I'll see you later. And in a way, like those old like drawing programs became like the discarded toys in Toy Story. Which is interesting because they keep making Toy Story. And there's always seems to be another one like right around the corner. And look, I love the Toy Story movies. I haven't really watched any of them since Toy Story 3 though. Like I thought, yeah, look, Toy Story 3, that's my cutoff. I'm good. I don't really need to see any more of these. Then they made Toy Story 4, and I'm like, ah, okay. I think I'll sit this one out. Like, I was, like, my interest in movies also kind of didn't, like, follow me very far into adulthood. Like, I can sit and watch, like, the movies I grew up with. You ever do that? You just go, you know what? I would like to watch that again. And then you sit down and you find it on like some kind of streaming platform and you go, oh, cool, here it is. And you watch it again and you go, this doesn't hold up. I forgot how much this sucks. Oh, here's the part that I hated all the way back then. And it's still here and I still don't like it. Oh, sure, sure. I'm currently playing. What am I playing? I'm playing a lot of Overwatch at the moment. Getting back into that. Like after they decided, after however long it seemed, to like change the game back to its original name, which I knew they were going to eventually do because, you know, calling it Overwatch 2 when there was really no reason to do that, it was confusing, but like, you know, at the time it was like desperate measures or whatever. But yeah, yeah, when they renamed it, I was like, all right, cool. And then they added like five new characters, and I was like, all right, cool. I can see what they're doing here, and I'm totally here for it. I will return to Overwatch and give it another shot. You know, because I sort of played it casually, and I still do. Like I've never turned pro or anything like that when it comes to video games. I just find I just don't have the patience to sit that long. Like I'm one of those people. I need to get up and move. Bendy and the Ink Machine. I've seen that, and that looks really cool. I like how the art style in that is just very unique and weird, and I haven't played it. It's definitely on my like to-do list of if I have the time, I will. But I've got no real plans to play that one. But I will say that it does look cool. I also played what else? What's it called? What's that game called? Um, Poppy Playtime. You ever play that? That's freaky as. Look, don't worry too much about like not having enough dough to afford video games. In this economy, I don't expect anyone to have the extra discretionary dough just to like throw on like a platformer or whatever. I'm also getting back into the games I grew up with. So it turns out that like 30 years ago, this like only a couple of days ago, Earthworm Jim was ported to PC. So it was Earthworm Jim officially first appeared on DOS machines. So no, no, you're okay. Think nothing of it. It's all good. But yeah, like that game, 1996. I was in high school. I actually just started high school, like, I think the year before. And, oh no, wait. Yeah, pretty sure I was, yeah. All I know is 30 years ago does feel like the blink of an eye. It really does. Like I even like jumped on Google Earth recently and looked up like my childhood home and I actually found it. And whoever's living there has not made any major changes to it whatsoever. It's still standing. It's still our house in the middle of our street. And my God, except for some like landscaping and maybe a paint job, the house looks identical to when we left back in like like the late 1990s. And it's kind of bittersweet because like all those memories just flash back, or flush back as the case may be. And I'm just thinking, wow, I remember everything being way more impressive and way more important back then when I was like, you know, just a kid and stuff. And you come back and you just think, oh, this is actually pretty tiny and not particularly interesting. The cool thing about the smudge tool is out of the ones that I've done, or just like from other artists, like I've got an answer for both, but I just need to know which one in particular you're referring to. Because there's a few art, like artworks that I absolutely, just off the top of my head, that I absolutely love. Michelangelo's Pieta. What else? What's another one? The Scream. I love that one. Uh, the one of the guy who's like standing there wearing a hat and like somebody's throwing a green apple at his head. That one's also like a favorite of mine. That's like I can't remember what it's called. Most of the stuff done by Edward Hopper, sort of dealing with liminal spaces and people hanging out, feeling isolated and stuff. I think those are very resonant. Um, but there's like other art forms that I love. What's it called? The 1950s animated movie of the adaptation for Animal Farm is really really good. I remember watching that when I was a kid, and I was under the impression that it was going to be like an old school Disney movie, and it was not in any way an old school Disney movie. It was very heavy in terms of subject matter. It looked cute, and it definitely matched that particular style of the time, that sort of very 1950s aesthetic. But man, like if there was an allegory movie that was just an absolute like cultural gut punch, yeah, I'd have to say um, Animal Farm, top of my list. There is also some movies that I personally cannot stand that everyone else seems to love. And there's some movie stars, like there's some like actors that I've not seen a single thing that they've been in. Like I've seen clips, and I'm aware of them. But yeah, but does that ever happen to you? Like you know of an actor, but you've never seen anything that they've been in, and then they kind of and when you see them in like sit down interviews, they come across as like weird and not particularly pleasant and everything like that. And you just think, oh, I'm going to go out of my way to avoid whatever this person's, you know, um, cultural impact that they're trying to have. Like, I think the older I get, the more I notice these things. Like, I'm just, because like your level of patience does run out for that kind of stuff, I find. But you do find like this sort of wellspring of, I'm going to give this a shot for, you know, stuff that you can see like a glimmer of potential in. Like, it's not very often, and you have to really kind of, you know, not come across as too enthusiastic about it. Not a problem. You have a great night, and I'll see you soon. It's good talking to you. Hey, how's it going? Good to see ya. Yeah, just talking like movies and actors and stuff. Like, I haven't seen anything that has Sean Penn in it. Like, I've gone my entire life, and I cannot name a single thing that I've seen that has Sean Penn in it. I haven't seen Fast Time at Ridgemont High. I haven't seen Dead Man Walking. I haven't seen I Am Sam. I've seen clips of these movies, but I haven't seen the movie. Like, never sat down and watched an entire Sean Penn movie from start to finish and the credits as well. I've just never done that, and it's weird because like he's been around since I was a kid, and like you'd think that he would have had some kind of like cultural impact, but like it just in Australia, but he really hasn't. It's strange. Tonight I'm just reworking this old one that I've had this in production in one form or another since 2018. So this one I've had it around for a while. The thing is, like, I needed to finish this one years ago, but the original version that I printed out, I wasn't particularly happy with. Like, it was fine at the time, but I think, to me personally, it just needs a little bit. It just needs something more, you know. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Thanks, man. Cheers. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? This just needs just a little bit more effort put into it. And yeah, this one I'm getting ready for Mother's Day, so it's sort of like it's bringing back in my world at least, it's bringing back a classic. Because I was inspired by another artist who does similar work to this. He does like cartoons and he does like fan art, but he also does like a lot of realistic stuff. And I wanted to sort of copy him a bit, make something a bit unique for the day. But yeah, I've never seen anything with Sean Penn in it. It's weird, like, and I've never really sought out anything that he's been in. Like I've seen stuff that his younger brother's been in, like Chris Penn. I've seen stuff that he's been in, um, just because he plays a well when he was alive he plays a very convincing um, like gangster. Like he's a good Italian mafia guy. Oh, we got a test. Oh, okay, yeah, no worries. Is it like sort of a make or break test, or is it like a driver's test, or man, I'm getting ads on my stream for the craziest stuff. Sensodyne and the Devil Wears Prada. Gotta love that. Or is it actually a proper like it's like a school test? I gotta say that the first Devil Wears Prada movie, that is like a guilty pleasure movie. I freaking love that movie. And my interest in fashion is at best like if I can get away with wearing the same thing forever, like, college shirt, jeans, and sneakers, I will. My idea of dressing up is essentially like cosplay as like a functional adult, if that makes sense. Like I will wear a suit, but only if I absolutely have to and there's no other alternatives. But that movie gave me an appreciation for like the haute couture world of fashion, like really nothing else. Because I think that movie is a guilty pleasure movie for like a lot of guys that have like no idea how to dress like stylishly. They're sort of casually, talking about how like belts and socks and different bits and pieces all sort of fit together. And there's young Anne Hathaway with her big, dewy, doughy eyes, just like, oh, I feel like a fish out of water and stuff. And just like, oh, you kind of want to give her a hug most of the time in that movie. Because even like Meryl Streep is an intimidating person, like even when she's not in character. Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be wishing you the best for your test. And that reminds me of, back in high school and just forgetting about stuff and not preparing at all. And that's the thing, like I used to live in the moment a lot, and now I'm just like planning ahead, sometimes months, even years in advance. It's interesting how things change, your perspective on time. You just think, how can I sort of try to capitalize on every conceivable second out of the day, or if I've got like a spare hour and a half and stuff, like what can I, what's the best use of that time? Like I have, like the older that I've gotten, like that's how my priorities have evolved. You ever just do that sometimes? You kind of make a bunch of plans and then you think, you know what? I'm going to just spend a couple of minutes just quietly and go out and just look at the stars. Like I did that like about an hour ago. Just stopped what I was doing. I just wandered out. It's a beautiful night tonight. I just looked up at the stars. And that's kind of the beauty of it, You get this sort of idea in your head of the enormity and how crazy and amazing life really is. And you think, yeah, I'm in the right place doing the right thing and I'm sharing it with the right people. This is great. Although maybe I am being a little bit, maybe I'm being a little bit too philosophical about the whole thing. I was, you ever get a song stuck in your head? Like right now, I've got Penny Lane by the Beatles just playing on repeat in my head at the moment. And I love that song. It's just layered and fun and random and English. So that Michael Jackson movie came out, and everyone's been sort of raving about it. And honestly, it looks kind of cool. It looks like they've definitely like had a bit of a breakthrough when it comes to biopic movies. But I don't think I'll go see it. Sometimes I just get caught up in the work and I just love the fact that I get to do this as a job. Although I wouldn't describe in like the most literal sense that what I'm actually doing here would be considered a job, but it is a job. Like it absolutely is a job. Speaking of Michael Jackson, I discovered only yesterday that there is a version of Thriller that is not Thriller. So, Thriller started out as a completely different song called Starlight. And it was like Starlight was a pretty decent enough like song. I mean, professionally sung, but to make it an absolute banger hit, the engineers and Michael Jackson himself went back and they just reworked the whole song, but they kept all the structure to it and everything like that. Dun 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 dun. Like all of that's still in there, but they just reworked the lyrics completely. And now that I've heard Starlight a couple of times, I can't hear Thriller the same way ever again. It's like when I listen to Starlight, I hear Thriller, and when I listen to Thriller, I hear Starlight. It does my it does my head in, honestly. But yeah, if you haven't heard Starlight before by Michael Jackson, look it up. You will not be disappointed. It is a very good song, but it's not as good as Thriller. But it is. It's technically it is Thriller, but it's not Thriller. It feels like a Thriller ripoff with different lyrics, but it's done by the same guy. It's a very weird experience. But you listen to Starlight and you listen to Thriller back to back, and the two songs are structurally identical, but the lyrics are so weird and different, but at the same time very familiar that like you can see how it was made. And I kind of like how the decision making process happened. You know, I listened to this. I watched this TikTok of this old music engineer that used to work with Michael, and you know, he just said, um, we just took this song that he'd already done, and we made it about like ghosts, goblins, and zombies. And it just turned out to be an absolute sleeper hit banger. You know, a little bit of out of the box thinking, and you know, you call up Vincent Price to do a guest voice, and yeah, because I think the enormity and how much of an impact Michael Jackson had on the world, and what we lost when he passed away, really hasn't been fully, like, I don't think it's been fully, um, I don't think it's been fully sort of accepted yet. Because he kind like he was a controversial figure towards the end, you know, and they made him look, you know, ridiculous and psychotic and all that stuff. And I think a lot more goodwill towards him has kind of since emerged in the years following his death. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But, you know, there's an episode of The Simpsons, for instance, that will apparently never be streamed on Disney Plus because it has Michael Jackson as one of the guest voices in it. It's called Stark Raving Dad, if anyone's wondering. Um, and yeah, it's actually not a bad episode. I remember watching that as a kid and just thinking, oh wow, is that Michael Jackson? Or like a really good impersonator of Michael Jackson. Like these days, you know, his family handled the making of the movie, and you know, there's a lot of stuff left out of it. Like I haven't seen the movie, but apparently, as far as biopics go, like a lot remained kind of omitted, and there's like a hard cut in terms of like the chronological timeline of Michael Jackson's unbelievable like life journey slash story. Um, it kind of ends pretty abruptly at 1988, sort of like during the tour for um, the album Bad. Because like people are still talking about him, you know, even now. And his family has sort of been trying to fix his legacy and sort of do a bit of damage control, but at the same time, like, you know, just the sheer amount of money that he made in his lifetime. Like, most of his extended family will never have to work a day in their life. That is how insanely rich the family is. Like, I don't know enough about like the dynamics, but yeah, it's something else. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you once again for everyone who showed up and stuck around for a little while and checked out the live stream. I do appreciate it. I think I've actually figured out like the right lighting format as well, so I'm pretty happy with that too. So yeah, in the interest of not waffling on for too much longer, I'm gonna leave it there, and I will be back to do another live stream relatively soon. But yeah, until then, I will say I will see you when I see you, and yeah.